All right, class, so we are in the month of November. Can someone let me know what holiday we are approaching? Yes, Jasmine? Thanksgiving, yes. So we are nearing Thanksgiving and we are going to be learning about the first Thanksgiving and about the history of Thanksgiving by reading this book. But before that, everyone in their table groups has this clue chart. Remember when we did this when we learned about the water cycle? Yeah, so we're filling out what we know, what we learned from the book. You're going to be able to cite the evidence from the text, and then you have your section of questions about what you still wonder about that. So before we get started, there's just a few vocabulary words that are going to be in this book. So we have pilgrim, which is someone who goes on a long journey or to a sacred place for holy or religious purposes. We have voyage, which is a long trip on a ship or a boat. We have Mayflower, which is the ship that brought the pilgrims to America for the first time. We have harbor, which is a safe place where people put their boats. We have a brook, which is a natural stream of water. Indian, which is the historical term for Native Americans. And then treaty, which is an agreement between two countries. All right, so before we begin reading the book, can some of you guys tell me what you already know about Thanksgiving? Yes? We eat turkey, so we eat turkey. Do we only eat turkey or can we eat other things? Yeah, we can eat other things. What do you guys eat? Corn, ham, rice. Yeah, we can eat anything. It doesn't have to be turkey. What else do we know? Yes, it's in November. Yes, so it's in November. What else do we know? Yes, Jasmine? We celebrate with family. So celebrate with family. All right. So we are going to start reading our book. And as I'm reading, you can start jotting down what you are learning about the book. And then when we finish reading the book, you will each get the same book as a table group, and you will be able to flip through it and then cite your evidence based on what you learned. Okay? And at the end, you will be able to do your question parts too, your wonders. All right, so this is The First Thanksgiving by Linda Hayward and illustrated by James Waltine. So here's the front cover of the book. All right. So the first Thanksgiving. Plymouth, England, 1620. A ship is in the harbor, taking on passengers. The people going aboard seem to be poor and too ordinary to ever be famous, and yet their names are now in history books. Now, almost 400 years later, we still tell their story. These are the people we call the Pilgrims. They are about to sail to a strange new land called America. They've been warned that Indians may attack them, even the voyage will be dangerous. So here are some of our vocabulary words. Pilgrim, we have Indians, and voyage. So there may be pirates or hurricanes. Many ships have sailed off and never been seen again. The Pilgrims are risking their lives. Why? Why are they risking their lives, class? Yes. Yeah, so it can be very dangerous. It says right here that Indians may attack them. Good observation. It started with the king. The king declared that everybody must belong to his region. The Pilgrims wanted their own religion. They tried meeting in a secret place. But the king sent spies to watch their houses. He sent soldiers to arrest their leaders. Even their neighbors turned against them. So the Pilgrims decided to leave England. So where were they traveling again, class? America, yes. Now at last they are on the ship that will take them across the ocean. the Mayflower. So remember, that's the boat. Other people have joined them. Everybody hopes for a better life in America. They have given up their houses. They have said their goodbyes to their friends. They have said their goodbyes to England too. The Mayflower is on the way. The ship is crowded. There are 102 passengers in all. Most of them must stay in one stuffy place below the deck. It is cold and damp. There is no water for washing, no toilet. Every day the pilgrims eat the same meal, pickled beef, cheese, and dry bread. Some of the bread is full of worms. Even the water tastes bad. Halfway across the ocean, the Mayflower is hit by terrible storms. Week after week, huge waves crash across the deck. It seems as if the ship will break in two. But the Mayflower is still afloat. After 9 long weeks at sea, one morning, a lookout spot a dark speck ahead. Land! What a thrilling sight! They have reached their new home. The ship gets closer. The pilgrims see a sandy beach and many trees. America looks wild and strange. Is it safe? Are Indians hiding in the forest? A search party goes ashore. The men walk along for miles and miles. Suddenly they see Indians. But the Indians are frightened and run away. So are the Indians harming the pilgrims? No, right? The men keep exploring. They find wonderful things: corn, baskets, a spring. They take fresh water back to the ship. How sweet it tastes. Now the pilgrims must choose a good place to live, a place with harbor and fresh water and fields for planting. And at last they find the perfect spot. Here a brook flows into the harbor. A big rock marks the landing. They will call this place New Plymouth. The pilgrims begin a new life in a new land. There is so much to do. They must build houses before they can leave the ship. But it is winter. Bad weather slows them down. It takes weeks to just finish one house. And there is hardly enough to eat. The pilgrims survive on food from the ship's roots, wild birds, and shellfish. How they wish for a dish pudding and a slice of beef. On a nearby hill, the pilgrims make a form for their cannons. They know that Indians are watching them. They can see smoke from the campfires. They can hear them in the woods. A guard is posted day and night. How hard that first winter is. Every day is bleak and cold. Fierce, icy winds rip through the settlement. Freezing rain falls for hours. The pilgrims huddle together by their fires. They feel miserable and so alone. Almost everyone is sick. Many people die. The small pilgrim band gets smaller and smaller. By the end of winter, only half of the pilgrims are still alive. The pilgrims bury the dead at night in secret graves. The Indian does not know how few pilgrims are left and how weak those few are. The long sad winter passes and spring arrives. Indians are slightly nearby. They come closer and closer. Then one day an Indian walks right into the settlement. The children are terrified, but the Indian smiles and says, "Welcome." So they're nice, right? His name is Some West. He speaks English. He learned from the sea captains. The pilgrim asks Some West many questions. They give him presents. They want to trust this friendly Indian. Some West comes back with an Indian named Squanto. Squanto speaks even better English. He likes the pilgrims, and he decides to live with them. He shows them how to survive in the wilderness, how to hunt for deer, and where to find berries and herbs. He also shows them how to plant corn the Indian way. The Indians put fish in the ground when they plant their seeds. The fish make the soil richer. The pilgrims want to make friends with all their Indian neighbors. Squanto and Some West tell them about the Indian king called Massasoit. He is a great and wise leader. Massasoit comes to visit Plymouth. The pilgrim governor bows and kisses the Indian's king's hand. Massasoit bows and kisses the governor's hand when they talk together. A treaty is made. The pilgrim and Indians will not harm each other. There will be peace. The Indian leader draws his signs and the governor writes his name. This treaty is kept for 54 years. In April, the Mayflower sails back to England. The pilgrims are sad to see it leave, but not one of them leaves with it. They all want to stay in America. The pilgrims work hard all summer. In the fall, the fields are full of good things to eat. It is time for plenty. It is a time of plenty for the pilgrims. How thankful they are. They have food, shelter, and new friends, the Indian. So I'm seeing a lot of groups writing down their information of what they've learned so far. Thank you. The pilgrims decided to invite the Indians to a Thanksgiving feast. Masoisis promises to come. What a surprise! Masoisis arrives with 90 Indians. The pilgrims are worried. How can they feed so many people? But Masoisis knows what to do. He sends some men into the forest and they come back with 5 deer. Now there is enough for everyone. The oldest pilgrim says a prayer of thanks. Then the feast begins. Everyone eats so much turkey, lobster, goose, deer meat, onions, pumpkin, cornbread, and berries. The feast lasts for 3 days. People eat and sleep, then eat again. The Indians do special dances. The pilgrim men run races. They have shouting matches. The children play games like tag and blindsman fluff. Everyone has a wonderful time. As the years go by, more people from England come to America. The little town of Plymouth gets bigger and bigger. The children of the pilgrim grow up and have children of their own, and they have harvest feasts too. In 1863, Abraham Lincoln, the President of the United States of America, makes Thanksgiving Day a national holiday. The first Thanksgiving is never forgotten. All right, class, so who can tell me what they put on what they learned? All right, so what are some things we've learned? If any group wants to go, raise your hand, please. Okay, yes. Oh, did you guys hear that? If you guys wrote the same thing, keep it on there, and if you want to put it on, you can. He said that the Indians were friendly, so Indians were friendly. So this group number 1, what evidence did you find that says that the Indians were friendly? Okay. Yeah, so he said that on page 30. On page 30, you guys all have the books in front of you. So on page 30, it says that the Indian smiles and says welcome. So we will write that. Indian smiles and says welcome. So that's a good one. Any other group? Okay. Yeah, so they said that pilgrims worked hard all summer. So that's on page 38. Yeah, so pilgrims worked hard all summer. Oh, yes, so that was the evidence. So pilgrims worked all summer and made their food. Pilgrims grew their food. And your evidence would be that they worked all summer, right? Okay. They worked hard all summer. Good job. How about group number 3? Thanksgiving lasted 3 days. Did you guys all have that? Yeah, okay. So, Thanksgiving lasted 3 days. I wish it lasted 3 days as well now. So what evidence did you guys find? Page 44, let me turn there. Okay, so they said page 44, it says, people eat and sleep and eat again. Yes. So we can quote it. People eat and sleep and eat again. So remember when we are quoting, we have to put quotation marks. I forgot here where it says they worked all summer and Indian smiles and says welcome. All right, so Anybody have any group want to share what they wrote for what they still wonder about Thanksgiving? Yes? Okay, so they said they wonder if the original treaty still exists. You mean like the paper, the document? Yeah, okay, that's a good one. So they wonder if the original treaty exists now. Okay, good one. How about this group? Okay, he asked, how did the Indians know English? That's a good wonder. English. Okay. And last one. Okay. So they're wondering if more pilgrims came after the ones that came to America never returned. Good. So, did more pilgrims come to America after the first pilgrims arrived? Good job. So I see a lot of groups have way more information. That's good. If you want to copy any of this ones onto your chart, that's good, because you guys are going to be coming up as a group and presenting what you wrote for your learn and your evidence. And you can share your wonder if you want to. All right. So students, to conclude this lesson, we are going to go around and share what we're thankful for. All right, thank you students for participating. I hope you learned a lot about the first Thanksgiving.